Back under that time. One more time. Boom, boom. I still got the same thing. Same way with the 4-2. Boom, boom. Maybe I have to go here. Whatever's available. Maybe he cuts me this time. Same thing. Boom, boom. Cut me a little bit. I'm bleeding bad. I better finish him quick, hadn't I? I'm going to finish him. I'm going to break something. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get help. And pray I make it. Okay? At that point, you have to make a decision. If you're hurt bad, what's it going to take to make him out of the picture so you can get help? So he didn't finish you off. Very bad thing. Okay, that's it. For somebody that has kicking skills, if he puts the knife out there kind of low at you and gets you kind of cornered, like such, and you're at that range that you're comfortable with, rather than go in for the knife and you've got a good kick or whatever, use your best, strongest front snapping type kick, and you got shoes on anyways probably if you're in the street, and just blast their hand so it flies out. I can't kick him that hard because I want to break his hand right now. But if they give you that opportunity, you know, they're taunting you with it, waiting for their chance to thrust in, and you can hit it, blast it. Why not? And if you kick at it and you miss it, or if you hit it, whatever, you still got to go in. But most people that have kicking skills could probably hit somebody at doing it. If it's up higher, that's too far to try to kick, unless you're just light and fast. And I don't recommend it. Instead, the hands are right there, so instead, boom, pop it out there, okay? Latch on and go. That's what I recommend. So the way to do that, slow motion, would be the back of the knuckles, and we want to hit there as hard as we can. We want to fold the wrist like such, however you want to do it, and that forces the hand to open up, and a metal knife comes flying out pretty easy usually. I've actually had a student use that in real life. It worked for him. And down low, I actually had an older man that had a pretty fast low front kick. He was older, so he didn't kick high very well. And I actually had him one time looking at the guy in a demonstration in front of several people, and he thought, well, heck, and he just popped it real hard with a front kick. And he didn't have that much training. He just had fast front kicks, so he said, I'm going to try that. And it worked quite well. The knife flew a long ways off. So those are very simple, very accurate. Why not? If you're skilled in it. Okay. Everybody on? Okay, we ready? Many months after training, you can kind of go to another level, another facet of this. That works fairly well. And basically everything's kind of the same. Let's start with number one again. He goes, the block shield, okay? And now what we can do is we can add a new element to it. The strike, if you want, or even before the strike, you can block, shield, learn to slap the back of the hand. Kind of like the one I did just a minute ago. From the number two, let's do number three. Let's stay with the same side first. The number three, block, shield, there it goes again. Okay, number two, you wear number two, block, shield. Number four, block, shield. Number five, boom, there you go, missed it. May have to follow up with something else. Always have a backup distraction. High five, there it goes, and the over the head. Very simple, very effective. But the hard part is learning where the back of the hand is when you're grabbing and moving around the person. Actually, with a little practice, it comes easy. I would not do that one until they've done the other, so they get good at reacting first. And then if they can latch onto it, and you can teach them to slap that hand because they're good at moving the arm around. Another thing that helps you, I'm not going to slap your hand anymore, I know you get tired of that, is he starts with a number one, and you practice passing it through. Would go with this drill that I just showed. That makes sense? Again, same angle. 1, 2. I can still do it this way, but it's not nearly as effective as if I can pull it through somehow, or preferably pass it through. So same angle, boom, boom, there it goes. Number 3, boom, boom, okay? Takes a little complexity there. If you want, you can go number 1, boom, boom, strike to give you a little time. It's not a bad idea. Number 3, boom, boom, or strike, swing through and hit. Number 2, boom, boom. I could strike first and then do it, or not. It's already right where I need it. Number 4, boom, boom. I can do that, or hit and then do it if I need to distract them. Does that make sense? That's a little light down the road after a little more advanced, and they got a good feel for where their arms are going and all that before you go to that stage. It's kind of the next level. Very good. Thanks, sir. Okay. This is one we're going to keep. Part 2. Take 2. Day 1. 2, 3. All right. It comes in an angle 1. I'm going to block, shield, stun to give me a little time, just like before. This is the advanced version of what we've been doing. Rather than going straight into the clamp, we'll teach the advanced student to bring it to here and pop the back of the knuckles real hard. The weapon should fly out. Whether it flies out or not, we still go into our takedown, no matter what. Whether it flies or not, we practice that way. Number 3 is the same thing. Lock, shield, strike, pass, smack it, takedown. Again, this is for way down the road after they've got good at everything else. Number 2 angle, block, shield, strike. It's already there, okay? And then takedown. Number 4, block, shield, strike. Again, same thing. Pop it out because they're stunned a little bit. Go into our takedown, whether it falls out or not. If I was to wind up on the inside, boom, 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 strike. I slap down here. It falls out great. If it doesn't, I still go into my technique. Make sense? I can slap it out from here too. I don't have to pass it over here. I can block, shield, strike, go right there. Some of you aren't doing that. But if I get real good at the other and feel comfortable with it, and then way down the road start doing this, sometimes the opportunity will present itself and I'll just take it, is the idea, as a secondary, simple way. Okay, very good, thanks. Okay, we're on. Okay, the true test is dynamic level training. Once we practice all these things, we set up some rules so nobody's hurt. Preferably wear some protection on the eyes. Use a washable type marker and a shirt that will show that color. Preferably a white old t-shirt is good, something that you don't mind tearing up a little bit because you're going to get kind of wild sometimes. Set some rules down, whatever you want to use, depending on the student's ability. Say no kicking, say no whatever. Stick to the basics. Later, if you want to add some kicking skills in there, if they have that skill, that's fine. But use washable. Again, you don't have the big blade like you normally have, but you got a good idea because the thrust is the biggest concern, and they can tell if they've been cut. We're practicing the empty hand versus knife. So this person basically can use those things he's been taught to try to keep me from slashing or especially thrusting. He has a white shirt on against this color marker, he'll know for sure, yeah, that's where he got you. Because sometimes you can't tell in the heat of the moment where it is. And we won't stop until he takes this person down. That makes sense? Again, at a dynamic level, you got to be careful. You try to go not full speed because somebody gets hurt, maybe 50% speed. And we'll just give you a brief demonstration of how it works. So anyways, we'll move around a little bit and just give a shot at it. There he goes. So you're just looking for, did he get me? You can step back now, you can look at the shirt and say, no, not much, or not at all. and that's what you're trying to find out. So after you do a little bit of committed type stuff, then you can get a little fancier with it and say, and I cut him a little bit. That makes it more complicated. And you got an arm cut. It's starting to bleed a little bit. And you got it. Okay, break. And that's pretty much the rules. If you look on the camera, show your arm. He knows where he got cut. There you have a little more time, depending on how deep the wound is, but it's still serious. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, I have technical difficulties.
All right, here we go. Another good drill for advanced students is we got to section off different levels of a frontal attack. If you can get the kick off or something, that's great, or a punch. Always do that. But they surprise you or whatever, or their timing's quicker than yours, and they get past your first line of defense. So as he charges in with his arms high like that, first line of defense would be his spike here, and then the follow-ups that you know. A second one, maybe you don't get that arm up in time, and he gets his arms above yours. So head and arms are both above me. Now I'm going to resort to the attacker-defender drill. All those techniques we may know and try. Sorry about that. Whatever it may be. Okay? Back him off. Pinch, whatever. The next one will be one arm above, one below, and the head above. Boom, from here, especially a taller person like this, now I've got to think, what's my options here? Run into the neck, pinch from this side, knees, all those different strikes to get rid of him. And you'd switch those arms, but the next one would be both arms below, the head above. You got to hold me this way. Now I've got my hand in here to work with. I got this into the side of his neck. I've got these strikes. I can hang on to this arm and do a takedown. Those all need to be addressed. Next one is both arms below, but my arms are inside of them. And boom here. We did that one, sorry. Excuse me, the head's below and both arms are below is what I meant to say. Okay, I got to stop him if I can. I've got this here. I want to use my techniques, whatever it is that I've learned to stun him. I got to bring this one in. I might gouge here, or go here, pinch, but I'm going to bring this one in and slam hard into the face. Put this hand behind the neck. It would look like this. And this one drives him down. Either straight down and land on him or flip him over. That's with both his arms around me. Sometimes he can come in like that with his head down, and I get one arm in and one out, one up and one down. So he comes in, and it's like this. One arm's here, one arm's free. It could be this way or just the opposite. It doesn't matter. And when he does that, what I can do is send him on by. Real hard. If I hang on his arm, I can do a follow-up if I know one. And then the next one is basically when he goes real low, and it's a sprawl, so he comes in diving for a pick or something. This takes a little timing practice. Be careful they don't drag their ankles on the ground and tear up a knee with your students. This is, some of them, you got to make sure they can deal with this. So he comes in, goes low, and you just come down on him hard, and whatever technique you want to follow up with to go from there. A good way to learn this safely is for him to get on his knees and dive for the ankles from here. It's a good way to learn it so this person can kind of get the feel for it safely with mats. So he dives for the knees and practice throwing your legs out. If you don't get your ankles out quick enough, you're going to hurt them. The last one is he comes in high, and his overpowering weight and size and momentum causes me to fall back, or I stumble into a curb. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck everything in like a ball and let him go on over. Okay? So he comes in, his momentum, go ahead. He comes in, boom, I go down. I'm going to be like a ball and just roll with it. Plus the landing like a ball, the energy goes away. If you hit something on the ground, you're going to not take all that shock by being rolled up, and you can launch them pretty far.